I read the article in Hypergrid Business. Avatarfest opens Saturday. Avatarfest is seen here, and it opened September 21st, 2017. According to the article, this year's Avatarfest is an annual celebration of creativity in OpenSim. So in 2016, they did a similar event, and prior years as well. This is the first time I actually have had the opportunity to view an event, and it's going to be going on for the full month of October. And basically, different people from the virtual community build exhibits and displays, and they have opening events. Now, the opening events have already happened. That was on the 21st through the 23rd. However, what I did like about the article is not only does it give a short description of the different events, but when you click on the descriptions, then it gives more details for each artist. So as you can see here, there are a lot of free resources that are offered by some of the participants. A little explanation of how active this festival is, with usually about 10 to 20 avatars a week. When I was there, I think I saw 3 other people. I didn't actually interact with them, but I could tell from the map and the little green dots that they were also looking around. They did have events and performances that you could learn from Hypergrid Business. So it's really good to keep in touch with Hypergrid Business because it kind of lets you know what is happening in the virtual world, what type of events are going on, who's involved. It gives you resources also to look back on. Say if you want to know about a specific group, such as, well, here you have Nara's Nook. You can actually research past articles, you can learn about people, you can learn about groups, what they do. WASCI in the background, you can see that's something that I learned from the Hypergrid Business article and from actually coming and exploring. It looks like that's something that I actually want to look into more. So this is great for resources. An OpenSim project. What OpenSim knows is, and like I said, from learning through the Hypergrid Business and through actually visiting the conference, the festival, it's something that I want to explore more. According to Hypergrid Business, this installation was by Cyber Serenity Vela, and it's called Tech to Art. So she first participated in 2016, and this is her second installation. So basically it shows a stack of prim cubes with a surprise inside. And as we continue on to the next installation, it's going to be by Svana Sunshine, Sun Vibes India exhibition. And this is an artist exhibition showcasing artwork of 2 Indian artists. Now, to fully experience these, you'd have to go to the virtual world experiencing them yourself. But the Hypergrid Business did give a great overview of each of the exhibits and the artists that participated, educators that participated, and world developers. They also, what's great about the Hypergrid Business article is they give you links to go right to the blog spots of the creators. So these are all great resources. So as you can see, it's a reproduction from Lord of the Rings. And the one that is up and coming, and you'll have to forgive me because I'm going back and forth between the article and the actual video from the world. And this display is by Diana Janos. It's an Avatarfest tribute to cultural diversity with tango and fileteado portiano. Now, one thing I do like about Hypergrid and also this Avatarfest is they offer it in multiple languages. So a lot of times you can click and get in English or in Spanish or in one of the other languages that you are as a visiting avatar. And this area is basically one of the event areas that they had the opening events. I didn't see a listing in the Hypergrid magazine that, or the Hypergrid business, that they were going to be doing other events other than the 2-day kickoff events. And this is the train station, train park. We had a couple train themed ones, transportation themed ones. This one in particular is, let me find it here. You could go up and you could take a tour of the whole area. And it's called, it's by Kev Magic, and it's called the train park. Now what I learned here is when it says have a seat, it really means have a seat. So I didn't have a seat. Not fast enough. I started the train without actually sitting down, and the train left without me. And as you can see here, this is the Star Trek theme. There was 2 space themes. One exhibit I didn't actually record. This one was the Star Trek, where they actually do role plays based on it's called the UF Starfleet Astraeos, United Federation Starfleet Star Trek on Third Rock Grid. So they have lots of different role plays that they do and gather with people. So this is their installation. This is Roanoke City. And Roanoke City is by Bink Draconia. It's their showcase. And they have a travel group called German Wink. And she's the owner of the Croatian Grid Rig. So this is a small train station that is actually on her grid. Now this is really awesome because she actually allowed this to be a freebie. So if you really enjoy it, then she actually offered it as items. And these are some other images and pictures from their grid, so they're able to advertise through this presentation. This is the Solar Winds and Northern Lights display, so it's an artistic display. Now, according to the write-up in Hypergrid Business, you can actually ride this ride, actually like enter it. I didn't do that when I was there. You kind of really have to explore and kind of learn on your own, so I just wasn't sure if it was just a display, but it is interactive. You can see the Star Trek and the train station, and the display right here is by Cherry Manga. It's a selfie called Social Disgrace. So this is actually an artistic installation. You have in the background the cultural diversity display. And that is a Hypergrid travel right there. And that's where a lot of the freebies right in the beginning was offered as well. This is from Ariel de Lambrelibra, Room Visions Gallery. And so this is also the artist's second exhibit at Avatarfest. So it is a photo impressions and graphic works. This is how she presented. It has several different floors. You won't see them all here, but it kind of just gives you a quick overview. This miniature train was designed by Jeff Hall, and so it's a little rideable train. In the background here is Lighten Majorum's Virtual World Basics, and he is an actual educator that has been creating installations for the Avatarfest every year. And so this one is actually an educational installation, so it teaches avatars movement around the virtual world. And this is one of his showcases of something that he actually has on his grid as well, on the region on the Lighthouse Point grid. So he had different lessons that you could do inside this installation. This one is by Franziska Bossi and Aaron Galen. It's Hogwarts Fantastic Beasts. So of course you change your setting. It's a small game, that they actually have on their grids. They have a huge grid, all devoted to Hogwarts, and as you can see, there's different worlds that they have. So last year they did a 2016 exhibit of the Forbidden Forest with spiders and dragons and unicorns. This year they did the Fantastic Beasts, so you have the fire snail. So once I learned the secret word, which is a spell, I then had to type it into the chat pod in order to get the gate to open. And then I had to get past the fire snails. If you touch them, then you get teleported backwards.